Welcome, friends. You are listening to the Mind Body Alchemy podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Miramontes. This is where intuition meets education in the realms of spirituality, fitness, mindset, and more, all to create lasting change. Welcome back to the podcast. Thanks so much for being here. If you are brand new, then welcome for the first time. Today's going to be a little bit different because I am just going to go off the cuff. I was in the middle of my training session today, and I just got thinking about the conversations that I've been having lately with clients and the people who are in my circle about when it is time to stop something that you're doing, when it is time to stop reading more books, seeking more advice, getting more coaching, trying new things, all of that. And I think that there are a couple different nuances here, a couple different categories that we could discuss. But what I want to focus this on is your future self and how you know whether or not you are quitting on yourself because it is uncomfortable, because you are tired, because you haven't improved in a while, versus when it is actually time to start changing how much time and energy you are putting toward something that you have been working on achieving. And when it comes to your future self, I just want you to imagine 1 year from today, 5 years from today, 15 years from today. Does that version of you look back at this moment and say, I'm so glad that we did all of that work and you stepped away when you did? Does that version of you already have all the benefit from the coaching, the books, the learning, the information, and now has a significant number of habits that are relatively effortless or at least drama-free, that are executed consistently, and you are moving toward getting, or you already have, the results from those habits and behaviors? If the answer to that is a resounding hell yes, then it is time for you to let go of the security blanket of having someone hold your hand, of listening to, let's say it's weight loss, and you listen to all the diet podcasts and you read all the nutrition books and you sign up for all the programs, and finally you find something that works for you or that you hope will work for you and seems like something you could do for the rest of your life. It feels very reasonable to you forever. When you find that and you execute consistently and you start to get those results and you can't see your life being any other way, you aren't disconnected, you aren't disengaged, but rather you are fully engaged and fully committed to living that life on your terms, and it looks amazing, then it is time to say, I'm going to shift my energy towards something else. And I'm just going to live this life. And it is my best life. And I'm so glad that I put that work in and I really learned. And I know that when I have an obstacle, I'm going to have the tools that I need so that I don't stop doing this thing. One of the things I hear really often is, my habits just went out the window when I went on vacation, or when things got really stressful, or I went back to work, or the kids went back to school, or something, right? And it's such an interesting thing to say my habits went out the window, because my next question is then, oh, you stopped brushing your teeth? You haven't had a shower in 3 weeks? Got it. Okay, so your habits did not go out the window, because your habits, the things that absolutely non-negotiable have to get done that you would never question, they are getting done. But when it comes to the eating piece, the nutrition piece, the piece where you are eating undistracted, you are stopping at enough, you're waiting for hunger, you're doing things that help you build a healthy and happy relationship with food. Those are the things that went out the window. Do you know why? Because they're not habits yet. Because those things are coping tools for you right now. When they go out the window, your coping comes back. Habits don't go out the window. You might do them with less intensity. Maybe you brush your teeth for 1 minute and 30 seconds instead of 2 minutes. but you're still brushing them. If you are looking at your behaviors as absolutely their habits, there's just no way that I would ever give this up, it's time to quit having this area of self-improvement be your hobby and move on. If, when things get tough, when you feel disconnected, when you feel disengaged, when you feel like you haven't made any progress in a while, when you feel like you just can't figure it out, but this is just as good as it gets and you're just sick of thinking about it, does that version of you a year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now look back and say, I'm really glad you decided that you were sick of working on your relationship with food? Or does she tell you, now is the time to double down? It is time to start digging beneath these surface level efforts and accept that it is going to be really uncomfortable for a little while, that it's okay to take your foot off the gas so hard sometimes, but you've always got to put it back because you want to solve this. If 15 years from now you are still looking for another diet, another attempt, then do yourself a favor and just stay the course. Stick with it and don't quit on yourself. This is the time where you need to ask yourself, why do I feel like shutting the door on this right now? Why do I feel like I'm so tired of making an effort in this area right now? Do I really want to give up on this goal, on this dream, on this effort and everything that I've learned and just see how it all goes? Am I really ready to let go of it? Or am I convincing myself that I just need a break? Am I convincing myself that this is as good as it gets and I've got other shit to do? I want you to get really honest with yourself about whether or not you are doing what is called the slow quit, where you make a decision that feels really comfortable. It feels like, okay, I'm good enough, which you are. You are always good enough. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to your behaviors and your efforts and the things that you are going for, if you can't tell me what life looks like in 10 or 15 years, where you are no longer thinking about these things with this intensity, then you are walking away because there is a part of you that is losing belief in yourself, that is losing faith in your process, that is thinking you're just going to come back to it when time is different, when the universe aligns and hands you the magic ticket. I know it feels exhausting. I know it feels frustrating. And I know that it's so tempting to just say, you know what, life can't just be like this. But you are worth the effort. It is worth it to ride this wave, to get through this disconnected moment, and to re-engage, even if you are box checking. Start asking yourself, why am I just checking boxes instead of really doing the work? Why am I not willing to journal for 5 minutes a day? Why am I really not willing to do that? Why am I so resistant to checking in with myself and asking myself, how can I level up just 1% tomorrow? How come? What am I afraid of? What do I think it's going to cost me? If the answer is, I'm going to have to face my emotions, I'm going to have to feel disappointed, I'm going to have to start having some conversations I don't want to have. If that is the answer, if it is something uncomfortable on the other side of your coping with food, this is the time to really question if that is how you want to be coping. Is that just your final answer? Are we accepting that it is okay that you are giving yourself permission, full permission? And when I say full permission, I'm not just saying fuck it permission. I'm saying this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I just want to use food to cope. Are you giving yourself that permission? And you're going to be okay with it when something else comes up, when you get past this hump, when you get past this bump in the road, when you get flooded with diets on New Year's, New You, when you have a beach vacation coming up, when the high school reunion is coming, when all of these typical, boring, and predictable triggers come into your life, are you going to say, I don't have to diet for that thing. I already did this. I am in such a good place. My relationship with food is amazing. I already did the work. Or are you going to let that insecurity start flooding back in and saying, oh shit, why did I quit on myself? Why didn't I just stick it out? Why did I let life continue to happen? And I didn't stay engaged. It's just something to consider. It's something to maybe get out your pen and paper and journal on before you decide how you want to make your next move, the next decision. Before you decide if you need more support, if you need to re-engage with yourself and pay attention and do the things that led you up to this point that feel really hard right now, but are going to pay off in big ways later on. Just journal about it. Ask yourself, do I need to do these things still? In 15 years, if I stop now, where will I be? In 15 years, if I stick with it right now, where will I be? Are those two places different? And you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know that in 15 years you'll be coping with breath work and meditation and all of these other things that you hear all the time. Like, you should be coping with all of this other stuff. You should have a hobby. You should be drawing. You should be connecting to your childhood playful activities. You don't have to know how you will be doing it. And that's part of the thing, right? We want certainty. We want all the answers. We want to know how we will do it if we don't use food to cope anymore, or other coping mechanisms like wine or shopping or whatever it is. You don't have to know. All you have to know is whether or not you believe in yourself enough to stick it out, even though it feels hard, uncertain, maybe even impossible, challenging, boring. Even if you're sitting in some apathy, is there a part of you that knows that this journey is not over yet? Or are you 100% confident that you just have this? It is not my intention to have lifetime clients working on the same issue over and over. Everybody's different. Sometimes we go through and 6 months, they're ready to take on the world and do their thing, and that's great. And sometimes it's several years or more, and that's great too. There is no timeline. Everybody's different. Everybody has their stuff. We'll get through some stuff, and then something else will come up, and they'll realize that they haven't addressed these other things, and that's okay too. We'll work on it. We'll build the skill set needed in order to handle all the things. Don't keep yourself stuck in a cycle of support and inaction. Take some action. And don't get yourself stuck in a cycle of quitting because you start feeling apathetic, frustrated, or that things are just too hard. All right. That's just what was on my heart today. And I just want to let you know that the doors for the group coaching program are going to be open on October 12th. So if that is something that you are wanting to sign up for, if you've been waiting to sign up for it, if you're ready to change your life beyond diets, beyond all of the bullshit that is in the industry, that is out there for you, and do something different, this is the program for you. So make sure you are watching for that announcement and putting it on your calendar. Thanks so much for listening. If you love this episode, do the cool thing like all the other folks and support the show by leaving a rating and review. It helps me so much more than you know. Screenshot the episode, share it on social media, and let me know what your takeaway was. Please tag me. All my information is in the show notes. If you have any questions or thoughts on this episode, ideas for future episodes, or if you want to work together, drop into my inbox. It's always open for you. All right, that is it. We will talk next time. Bye.